Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing great. I'm Nuran. I'm a front-end engineer. I'm here just to share some information. Like when I am learning something new, I want to share this information with you so we can all grow and learn together. So just passing information, grow, learn from each other. That's my goal, so nothing else. So today we will talk about one concept called island architecture. This idea that it change how you think about web performance. So first of all, before we go in anything tech, let's think about island. What is island? Island is a piece of land surrounded by sea. So just a piece of land in the sea, right? So let's go here. This is the island. It's a piece of land and this is the full sea around it, right? So it's a different part from the sea. That's exactly what is here in programming or the concept in programming. So that means the most of your HTML is static and there's a small isolated part is interactive scattered through it. So all is static, that's the sea, and just a small part is interactive, that's the island. That's why it's named as island. Okay, so those interactive components are the island. Alive and interactive, while everything around just a markup, just a static part. So they sit in a plane of HTML static HTML, and they are just interactive inside it. That's from where this naming come. Okay, so a short history of the problem. We have three era or two era. The era one is server HTML, era two is Bob. As you know, server HTML, that means the server is fully cooking and they like not displaying, fully cooking or fully preparing the HTML static one, fully building it, send it to the browser to start loading or display it or render it for the user. So pages load fast, but every click triggered the full page reload. Why? Because we send the request to server, so the server has to rebuild the full HTML again and resend it to the browser again, so display it again. So this is the first error. The second error is a SPA, single page applications like React, like Vue, Angular, and so on. What does it mean? The server, it's not sending the full HTML in this part, but in this technique, it's just sending a root or the container that JavaScript will use it to build the full page inside. So the JavaScript will build everything inside the browser inside this container. Okay, so what is the issue with the SPA? This part is the issue here is why do we need JavaScript, or what is the main goal of using JavaScript building something? The main goal of JavaScript building something is to make it interactive. So why we use JavaScript to build the static part? As if JavaScript build a static part, it will be or affect badly on other things like initial load, because we will send a lot of JavaScript for the browser. It has to be loaded first, then JavaScript have to build everything first, then we display the HTML content for the user. So this means it will be slow initial load, slow performance, right? And this is so bad. So this is the first error and second error. As we said, here's the problem. Like for example, if a blog post, let's say here, a blog post, we have a blog post here, we have title, we have image, sorry, and we have content, right? Do we need this content, title, image to be interactive? No, nothing. Like for example, if I'm here to read this content, do I need this title to be interactive? This image should be interactive, or this content? No, but I need this button to be interactive. Yeah, I need I need those to be interactive. So this is the main concept. A lot of the content is static. I don't need interactivity in this content, but I need interactivity in these buttons. So this is the island. Exactly, this is the island where small part in the full plain HTML is interactive, while the full plain HTML is static. That's the problem. So let's imagine we build everything in this blog post using the server side. That means when I click on this button, it will send a request to the server side. So the server side will rebuild the full HTML again and will resend to the browser again. And we will display it again. And this is an issue. It's interactivity. It will be so bad in interactivity and will take so much time. If we build it using SPA, that means the initial load of this page, it will be so bad. So when I just reload it, instead of taking 1 to 3 seconds, it will take like 80, 20 or maybe more than that seconds. Initial load, it will be so bad and performance will be so bad. Okay, that's why we need island. But before we continue, we need to understand something called hydration if we don't know it. And if we know it, let's just make a recap on it. What does hydration in programming mean? Hydration is attaching JavaScript interactivity part or the dynamic part in a static HTML part. Like, for example, before hydration, let's say there is no hydration at all in this page. So right now, without hydration, if I clicked on this button or any of those buttons, it will do nothing. No interactive, no live here. It just will be plain HTML static, nothing. Okay, but after adding JavaScript, so after making this button interactive and making this button interactive and making the other button interactive, that's mean hydration. Hydration is the process of adding interactivity or adding dynamically or adding the functions to the buttons or to the elements exist in the website. So again, hydration is attaching JavaScript to server HTML to become interactive, to become live, to become dynamic, to do something. So before hydration, if I clicked on like button or this love button, favorite button, it won't do anything. But with hydration, it will add this product, for example, in favorite part, on favorite list. Okay, so we have two types of hydration, full spa hydration and island hydration. As we said, full spa hydration to hydrate everything in the page. What does it mean? Let's imagine it's something. Let's just to fully understand and memorize hydration. What does it like? Mainly hydration. It's like adding water to something, right? So adding water means adding life to something. So imagine it like that. Hydration, adding life. What live means to websites? Interactivity, right? So adding interactivity to website. So as hydration, adding water, and water means live, and live for website means interactivity. So it's adding interactivity to element in website. Just imagine it like that to make it memorize it so easy, I guess. So full spa hydration, you are adding live or adding interactivity for everything in website, and literally they don't need this. For example, adding interactivity or something to the title. Do I need interactivity in title? No. Adding interactivity in image. Do I need it? No, also no. Do I need interactivity in any of this content? Also no. So I don't need it. But anyway, full spa hydration means adding interactivity in everything in the page. So for example, JavaScript should be shipped or could be shipped at 380 kilobytes, and this is so much. Island hydration, so adding only live and hydration and interactivity dynamically for only components that need it. So it's JavaScript shipped as 18 kilobyte only. So yeah, hydration directives in Astro. This is one of the framework using hydration. Yeah, hydration, or like let's say island architecture. By the way, you don't need Astro or any framework to use island architecture. It's architecture, it's way of thinking. You can decide and use the island architecture without using those framework. Those framework just helping you or making this process faster, nothing else, okay? Just not to attach, when I need to use island architecture, I need to use Astro or any other framework. No, you don't need that. Astro is just a manager control when each island load, where, and when. Like it's just a controlling where to load it and when. That's it. We have three directives in Astro. Client load, load means immediately once the page loads, it loads this critical element like search or cart. Also the client idle, when browser is idle, used for non-urgent UI, so it's not loading immediately. It's taking some time. It's okay. Why? Because it's just a theme toggle sharing button, like user won't see or won't be interactive with those elements immediately once the page loads. Client visible, that means when you like, for example, you see this part only from the screen. The other part of the screen you don't see it, right? But when you scroll, you will see the other part. So on scrolling, that means attaching this directive on scrolling when the user view it. Okay. Sorry. And the client media when CSS media query matches. So if you, for example, attach a different action in this media query, so once the media query is here, it will attach this action. So real world examples like blog posts, blog post page. As we said, the title is not meaning to be interactive. The author, the body, static HTML, it's not interactive, but the interactive part is just the buttons. Okay. And also e-commerce page. The image, the title, description of the product is static, but just the buttons there dynamic. The documentation side, sidebar, content, code blocks, static, search bar, copy button, theme toggle, islands is dynamic. Those are our islands. Okay, so let's make a comparison between islands and their alternatives. I think this page is not, this image is not so clear. That's why I just draw it in here for you. So we have, let's say, three techniques right now: server only technique, full spa technique, and island architecture technique. So for server only technique, that means the server will fully display the HTML. And as we said, the technique, we have advantage and disadvantage for this part. So when the server fully cooking the HTML, it will be so good for first initial load. Initial load will be so fast. Minimum JavaScript will be shipped. Excellent for SEO because the content will appear immediately once the page is there. So it's the best for simplest or static sites. That's the good thing. But interactivity, it will be so bad. It will be taking so much time. Full SPA, it's building everything using JavaScript in the browser. Okay, so if you shipping JavaScript, a lot of JavaScript in the browser, when you click on the website link, what's the thing will be bad initial load, because you have to load all JavaScript, execute all JavaScript, building the HTML, displaying the HTML. So it will be bad for initial load and performance, but it will be fully interactive and best for interactivity. All JavaScript will be shipped, and the SEO dependence, it will be depending on like when the content is loaded in the page. Island architecture, as we said, island, it's just like serving the static HTML using the server. It's like, let's say the island one is mixed between them. When you need static HTML, so you'll serve it by the server, but you will add hydration, or you will build the small component that need hydration or interactivity or dynamically with with JavaScript to add interactivity for it. So it will be very fast load. Why very fast initial load? Because the browser building it. Only island JavaScript. You won't ship a lot of JavaScript. You will ship also only the JavaScript needed for making interactivity for those 3 or 4 elements in the website. So it will be so little JavaScript, and it will be like best for performance, or it will be faster. Excellent for SEO because also it's shipped from the server. Best for interactivity because we said we took the advantage of full SPA, that we make the CSS SPA for only interactivity part, and we take the advantage of server building the HTML, so that's why it's so fast. So let's say it's just mixing between them, taking the advantage from here and there and combine it in one thing. Okay. So maybe we can ask a question like now, when to use island architecture, when not to use it, or is this some cases not to use it? Yeah, there is some cases you shouldn't use the island architecture. As we said, every technique has its advantage, disadvantage techniques, or like decisions. Based on that, I will choose this technique or not. So use it when most of website or more than 60% of your website is static, but there is island is interactive. So 100% use island architecture. Skip it when your entire page is dynamic, or your not entire page, but at least 60% or 80% of your page is dynamic. Don't, don't, don't use island. So as we said, if most of your page is dynamic or interactive or real-time data, don't use island architecture because it's real-time, it's dynamic, it's interactive, most of it's interactive. So you shouldn't use an island architecture at all. Okay, so think just if interactive, think in SPA. If most of it's static, but just there's some island interactive, use island architecture. This is just some numbers of performance, how island architecture saving time, making good performance, good score for Lighthouse. For like there is 60 to 90% of JavaScript bond reduction. So or for content heavy pages, that's for pages have static content. So there is 60 to 90% reduction of JavaScript, which lead to 98 to 9 to 100 Lighthouse score, which is save 7 seconds in a browser. So that's why it's good for mostly static pages. And the framework is that apply the island architecture: Astro, Fresh, Marco, and so on. Just I give you this framework if you would like to use it one day. And that's it. Thank you. And we'll go through other technologies, other concepts, inshallah, to make it more simpler and simpler. As I said, I'm just a front-end engineer, like to share knowledge, like to explain things, break it down in small and good way for people to understand. So feel free just to like, comment, subscribe, share any question or any perspective with me, even any comments that something was bad, I need to improve it. I would like to hear your feedback. Thank you.